Hello and a very good afternoon to you. Welcome, sadly, on our final day here in Delhi for the Commonwealth Games, and the last day, of course, and the last evening of the lawn bowls events. The match we're about to bring you is the women's singles gold medal match between England and New Zealand. Promises to be quite a tussle in the sun. Thankfully, the sun is not quite so strong now as it has been. It is just after 4 o'clock now here in Delhi, and there's a good crowd gathering to watch the match in perfect conditions. Really, it's very hot, 33 degrees again, humidity's quite high. The wind has been problematic today. It's been very gusty at times, giving problems to players and spectators and media alike. It's settled down a little bit now, but it's a very pleasant afternoon and perfect conditions really. Perhaps a little too hot for some, but we shall see. Anyway, it looks like being very good for this particular match, which promises to be very good. So there we are, that's the main stadium away behind this lawns complex, and England, New Zealand, Australia, Wales, those are the matches we're featuring today. The men's singles now, the men's singles tonight. Great matches in prospect to round off what's been a terrific Commonwealth Games. David Boban here saying welcome to Delhi. Sitting alongside me is David Corkill, and we have brought you, along with our fellow commentators, some delightful play. This is the route to the final for the two sides. Down to England in a very interesting match not long ago, and New Zealand through to the final having beaten Australia. So it's been hard work for these girls. They've got they've now got to produce the goods in the gold medal match. The prospect here between youth and brilliant young talent up against established success.
Without a shadow of a doubt, it's one of those things where you're looking at a little bit of a surprise. Natalie Melmore, but my goodness, hasn't she just justified her selection for England getting through to the final?
She's been a delight, hasn't she? She's just...
Well, we've had a lot of young players, to be truthful. That's Val Smith. We've had a lot of young players around the place, but Val just getting herself ready for this game, getting some protection on those lips. It's very hot out there. I've known her for years now, and I've a lot of respect and a lot of time for her. She's a very, very accomplished player and also very fit. Looks after herself as well. And she's come through very well. She was third in the section positions and come through to this final with some tough games. Marker, Terry Crozier. All my go. Yes, we've had a lot of young players, David, in different events. You know, I think in many ways, actually, young players have brought a bit of fresh air, yes, but there's always been young players at the Commonwealth Games. Always. Here she comes, Natalie Melmore.
She's a lovely young lady, and she deserves full credit for what's been a terrific journey for her. There were a few tears at the end of her semi-final, but why not? She was so thrilled to get through. And I thought she behaved charmingly against an opponent who didn't give her much in any sense. And you know, the handshake was perfunctory at the end of the match. It was a slight shame, but there we go.
There's the horn that goes off. There's no time limit on this match. That's really just a starter. They'll let the matches progress at whatever pace they're at. We certainly don't expect it to last any more than 2 hours at the absolute maximum, but it's going to be a tight one. So off we go. Natalie Melmore from Devon in England. Her first games, well, it's almost a given. She's 21.
Plenty of fans watching this in the stadium at both ends. Some in the shade, some in the sun, but they will enjoy the match whatever. Natalie's from Newton Abbot in Devon. And a massive success already to reach the final of this event against some very, very good players.
Yes, I've had many conversation with Gail Hunter about her and just what way she's come through in terms of the qualification process and elite squad and everything else. And as we see Val Smith Wow, that's holding. It'll be interesting to see what balls Val's using. They're quite narrow just the way they went up to green, but now they're drifting off. But it's really quite simple, David. They brought the young ones on. They put them up against the established members, more senior members, and they were selected basically on form. That's just the way it's been, and I think that's exactly the right thing to do.
Rather than reputation.
Well, reputation sometimes can go before a player, and people do get selected on reputation because they say, well, they're a safe pair of hands and they'll have a chance of a medal and probably will get a medal. But the reality is that if they're not playing sufficiently well enough, then they shouldn't be here.
Exactly. It's the way Australia is nearly in whatever sport. It's your current form that counts, not the memories and the reputation.
Be a tidy game, as I would put it, between two players who will draw, play the occasional drive if required. Val in particular is a very good driver, but then again from New Zealand you need to be, because some of the fast greens they play on. It's a draw drive game. It certainly was when I played Commonwealth Games in 1990. We played in Pakuranga and it was screaming at 18 seconds, and it very much was a draw drive game. Val just holding off a second because for just a little bit of a drop. Well, that is definitely picking up. There's no doubt about it. The problem with the wind is if you put it down on the line expecting the wind to hold it and it suddenly drops halfway along the green, you'll end up all over the place. It's a decent looking line with this one. It's all on the weight. Looking better, looking much better. Oh, that's a beauty.
Ball in front.
I should tell people that have tuned in that there's going to be a little bit of noise. We are in the commentary position up in the course, and in this heat that will be very well received by everyone that's here. As we see Natalie just dropping under. But of course we have players around us supporting a whole crowd of key in front of our commentary position. So I'm under strict instructions to be nice to the New Zealander.
I'm sure you will be.
I wouldn't be anything else with Val. She's a very, very good player, very accomplished player.
You'll be diplomatic and your usual neutral self. That's good. That's very good. Little smile of satisfaction for the New Zealander.
Yes, it's a good memory. Short-term memory needed when you put a good ball down to repeat the dose. But that's a good start.
So there we go. It's 2 on the board for Val Smith, and she takes the first end 2-0. There's confirmation of that. 9 ends in this first set. Of course, there will be a second set and possibly a tiebreaker if required.
Stand the man in the hot seat, is it? Oh, good. We haven't heard from you, mate. I was getting worried. Turned about for a moment. This morning they look like they're still there. Well, I couldn't possibly make comment on a esteemed director. This is things right back for a list. It's racing Jude in the second game. Taking the red break of the year. couple of ends. You want a fairly steady start to a major final. That's good. Don't want to lose too many shots. And you certainly don't want to be facing issues either. Dropping short, no correction. Both players using the speckled balls, becoming very popular now. We have evolved from the black and the brown, of course. Stuff. We can get almost any colour you want.
This is better from Natalie. A good start to this end.
Red, white and blue. And black and white. Believe me, that is deliberate.
Good.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm all for it.
It's coordinated. That's the way it should be.
We want more of that, please. Yeah.
Better weight with Val. Chance in this one. Second ball is a target. Oh, just didn't get back. Holding. We'll get a look at what ball she's using, but is without a shadow of a doubt a straight line ball. No, that's roundabouts. Hasn't held the target in terms of out wide. I'm not sure if it's in. Or need to check with our rings just to see where we are. Well, that looks like it's just outside. It should be only just the two.
But already it's better for Natalie than that opening end.
If you're looking at that little
see
blue
what damage
box.
Val Smith can do here.
That blue box in the back of Val Smith is a measure. A lot of players keep their measure here in play. Dropped away. It's not going to save. Bad end for Val. Looks like they're going to exchange doubles.
Looks like it, but looking very carefully. It is two. So, two for England.
This preparation is very important. There you
Oh,
go.
look at the towel.
Was that all the club members wishing her all the best?
Yeah, that's a nice touch. And the two for England means it's now after two of the 9 ends of this first set.
Well, this is very important for New Zealand. They had a torrid time in Melbourne when they saw their arch rivals Australia just lift gold medal after gold medal. And the Kiwis, I think that hurt in terms of funding and pride and everything else.
That was a huge upset in the world of bowls, wasn't it, David?
Well, it was to be so dramatic, that's all. It was quite a shock, actually, because we expected them better and being in the Southern Hemisphere in Melbourne, but it hasn't been going that well for them either, because this has really worked for them. So the couple of players there from England on the team management side. So this is a very important game for lots of reasons for New Zealand. Yeah, it's always looked narrow out of the hand. Never looked right. Oh, there you go. What am I doing? Decent second ball. Now, Val, you need to get another one in. You really need to get another one in, or that ball could easily disappear. Well, the line's not bad. Gentle with the jack. Oh. Well, it's hard enough to get shots in singles without giving them away with the last ball. Rice was playing up. She wanted to make sure she was arriving, but giving a shot away hurts. And it will hurt even. Natalie can add another. Her own ball's on the way in on the backhand. That's the safer side. Little tap on that. Tell you what, she's not far away here. Not far away at all. She's made it.
Wow, that is a great effort. Even got a little bit of applause from Val Smith.
Yes, that's rubbing salt into the wound. Psychologically, that's exactly what you want to do.
It was brilliant, wasn't it? Just when she needed it. There we are, the little tap. Well done, says Val. So that's looking better for England. And Natalie Melmore. That's confirmation of it. England in front now by 2 points. 4-2 after 3 of the first 9 ends.
The stadium in the background, that's the covered stand where we are positioned in our commentary along with others in the media. We have Indian radio beside us, and beyond that, Indian television. So it can become quite a noisy place up here occasionally.
I was going to say, it's relatively quiet this afternoon, David. I mean, I say it's 4:20 local time here in Delhi, but whatever time it is around the world, it is fairly quiet compared with some days we've had.
It is, but
there's been a lot of matches and a lot of media. Thank you.
But more importantly, it's 35 degrees and about 45%, which is, for us, I have to say, very pleasant.
This is one of the most pleasant afternoons in terms of temperatures and conditions here that we've had. We're very lucky. Now, this is shaping up to be an interesting end. That's not bad. That's not bad.
What to do whenever your opponent misses the opportunity. Play
take a chance. You've said that throughout the tournament, and we see it again.
No, it's that battle of the first 2 balls in singles. If there you bang 2 in on it, you're asking the question every time with the 3rd ball. And you're more or less saying, if you miss this, you are in deep trouble. Well, she's certainly better with this one. It's a straight running ball, but she just wants to hold on to second, and she has.
So it's 1 to England at the moment. It was 2.
Close again, trying to will it forward. It's not going to be in, I don't think. It's a little bit of a protector, but we think on the rings that it's just dropped short. Thanks for that, guys. It's really spot on. Well, the last opportunity before you go home. Just be. It's very hard.
Oh.
Well, we're just waiting this ball to come in. Has she got the running to take it past the front one? She doesn't want to turn that over. But it's a spare shot chance now, once again, for Natalie. Yes, was she too far away? If she'd have missed it, I don't think she was going to make it all the way to the jack. But a chance for the 21-year-old law student.
She's a member of the King's Bowls Club in Torquay, and I imagine every one of those people there will be glued to their sets and following this match everywhere.
Nice play.
And why not? The girls.
Yep, and she's very close to her jack. Careful the jack. Oh, and that's, not only that, but the ball came through and tapped the Kiwi ball down. This could be one to New Zealand.
She's converted possible 2 to a shot to New Zealand.
She was drawing for 2 and she's given the shot away.
Just as I was saying, the girls. It is 1 to New Zealand.
Well, both had a little bit of good luck. So, hopefully that'll settle down now.
Yeah. It wasn't a major error, but it was not what she wanted. 4 years ago, Natalie was the best young bowler, the young bowler of the year, and she won the Under-25 Women's Championship in 2009 and the English Championship itself in August just a few months ago. So it's been a terrific run for her.
Yep, I think actually the winning of the National Open Singles, David, was the there, not the others, because you would expect her to be a very good player under 25. She's one of the best around, but the Open Singles is very important because, especially on was probably a controversial selection, I would have thought, for England to have a 21-year-old. But when they make the selection like that, they just hope that she's going to do well. She wins the national singles, and then everybody sits back and says, "Oh yeah, no, she's a national champion. Why not? She should be there."
Worth a try.
She was. There's Gail Hunter. She's the youth coordinator for England, and this is what we were talking about. That Natalie, in many ways, has repaid the selectors by winning the national singles.
They're very proud of what she's done, and they'll be even prouder now of her getting through to this final. I mean, they were hopeful before the whole thing started, and Natalie's repaid their confidence.
Janice McKenna and Mary Price, of course, the England team manager for the women. Mary's been around a long time, a very good player, better than good player. She was a brilliant singles exponent. A lot of respect for Mary Price in the game, both in England and all around the world. As we see Val go walkabout with her second delivery. And why Mary's behind the barrier is that you're only allowed one official on the green. So it's either a coach or a team manager or someone who's deputising for them. Needs to push on a little bit. Still very bright out there. That's the problem. See, the Gucci by the looks of them.
Well, you've got several of those, David, haven't you?
I think I bought a few in my day for other people.
And were they genuine? That's the thing.
Probably not.
That's looking good. I don't want to tempt fate and say any more, but it's looking good.
Well, the fact she's come off the inside edge has dropped around it. The target really isn't in any way bigger. She's made the double. The plant's not going anywhere because it's coming away from it. And Val Smith sees herself in a bit of bother here. 2 down. Well, the ends are running on. The difficulty is she's got no back position. She's got 2 balls fairly close to the head. She's 2 down. The 2 at the back are against. And her short ball is of no value whatsoever. So if she hits the ball under the jack and runs off, she could lose 4 shots. And this is one of those situations where you have to say to yourself, I'm going to try and draw close here and try and get second. Because if I'm aggressive at it, it could go wrong and I'll be worse off.
Big moment for a big shot.
Yep, she's just trying to roll up to it to get second. Now, careful. Oh, she didn't want to hit it with that weight, I can tell you. Sometimes losing a double is better.
Oh dear, that's not very good news for New Zealand. And it's a 3. It's 2. I heard it called as 3, but it's 2.
Well,
the score after 5. 6-3 now to England.
Delhi Games have been, there we go, there's one of the security guys up on the tower keeping an eye on things and get a lovely view from there. Don't think I'd like to too often in this heat. It's very necessary and we've had very, very strong security here in Delhi. Right, Val, more shots, that's enough. Good start. Jack high from our position, or if you really want to be pedantic about it, jack level, which is another one of these terms that they brought in because somebody thought of it, but no one really likes it, so I call it jack high. I'm a little bit from the old school when it comes to things like that. It's another change of rule for the sake of changing a rule. Well, that's actually not a bad ball there. That's not only a rangefinder on the backhand that's come into a good place. Smith was in Melbourne in Commonwealth Games. Spent a long time with us behind our commentary positions where there was nice seating, tiered seating, and see the monitors, etc. we had available to us. And she's done the same here a few times, sitting beside me and behind, just watching the matches.
She loves the game, doesn't she?
She does.
Whenever she can.
Yeah, she studies the game. You know, she's serious about it and she studies the game, but she's an all-round sports person as well. You know, she likes other sports, play football and all sorts of things. This really is a good ball, because that's really putting the pressure on.
That's good.
Now, that's a very difficult question of Val Smith, simply because, as the ball you'll see just trucking in, here we go, a little bit short of the jack. Now into that and gets the right connection, she could turn 2 down to 3 up. But if she misses, she could lose 3 or 4 shots, and that would really be curtains on the set. Such an important for Val Smith.
After this end, there's only 3. So she's trailing by 3 at the moment. Unless she gets this right, it could be more.
She's in the area, needs a jack, got it! And after it, and that's the important bit. The first target was the jack. After that, she had a short ball, came off another one, and landed right in beside it. Well, that one's going on the card.
And how things can turn.
Yes, this is the one here. Jack,
Very
bang, and it was the fact that she came off the 2 balls at the back, which put her straight into the ditch.
Blue. So what a turnaround.
Jeez.
Good work there.
Steady, girl.
Good work from Val Smith. And the 1 for her there means it's now 6-4 after 6 of the 9 ends. So Natalie Melmore still in front, but the lead narrowed a little. Val
Smith's pretty fit, but she has to be careful with that sort of celebration. She's not 16 anymore. It's just have to be a little bit careful. You don't want to be pulling the muscles celebrating a good ball.
Well, this has been a nice match so far. It's been enjoyable to watch. It's been interesting. It hasn't been dull. Both players have found some good form early on.
Well, it's been a tidy game.
Good right from the start, which is nice. One or 2 of the featured games that we've covered so far have been slightly disappointing, perhaps. This one, so far, is good.
For a moment. Out in the sun enjoying it, and it's pretty warm, so be very careful about that. Some folks might have been wondering why their last ball in the previous end was quite simple. She was lying second shot and Val Smith was snuggled in beside the jack in the ditch, only an inch or 2 away. She couldn't beat it, so that was the end of it. No need to play it. And move on. Loose. Certainly a attention will start to tell after a while, and not easy. Yep, that's good. It's the crowd cheering just in front of our commentary position, so our microphones are going to pick up quite a lot of clapping.
We're surrounded by Kiwis.
Yeah, that's not such a bad thing. Quite happy to be surrounded by Kiwis, to be honest with you. Very fond of them. Play down there often enough.
Smiling at you at the moment.
Yeah, well, I had a good time in Auckland. I really enjoyed it. And I've frequented more than one or two pubs in Auckland over the years.
Now be careful what you say.
It was good fun.
Stop there.
Good fun.
No.
I'll tell you a little story in a moment, David, about my first expedition down to Auckland.
I don't think I need to hear that.
It was fine.
Make sure you...
No, it's good. It's good. It's fine.
Right, the shadows are really lengthening now, casting long shadows from left to right.
Gently, the spare shot.
A bit strong.
Oh, that's disappointing. The spare shot's so important in singles. It really is. Shot opportunity that you might. Melmore just using the measure very quickly before she calls on the marker of the umpire. She'll just check it to see if it's close. If it is close, she'll call on one of the officials. Well, that looks to me as if her ball is closer than the Kiwi one.
That's a nice shot. You can see quite clearly how the measuring is done.
Well, Val's got a measure there as well, so she could always check it again as we see some of her innings.
I think possibly that might be Natalie's. Yeah. Family are over to watch and support. They arrived, I think, middle of last week. They must be really enjoying what they've seen their daughter do. They must be very proud, and good for them.
It's very
regardless. I mean, she's made the Commonwealth Games final.
I think if it's close, Val's happy now. After the first measure, really call on the umpire because if it's that close. But
yeah,
Val's happy enough now. It's just a single by the looks of it.
It is. There we are. Just the one on blue. So that means New Zealand, in the shape of Val Smith, have narrowed the gap to 6-5. It's after 7 of the 9 ends. So Natalie still leads, and only 2 ends to come.
Beautiful evening here, late afternoon in Delhi. Still very hot, of course. And local crowd sensible to cover up. Now, my first trip to New Zealand, David, was after the Commonwealth Games in '80. Played at Maruka in Queensland, Brisbane, '82, and then after that, the teams all went home, but there was a few of us. David Brandt, Willie Wood, myself, Peter Bellis, Rob. We all went up to the coast, played there, and then spent a week in New Zealand and Auckland playing in a tournament. And it was great fun. The only problem was in Auckland it rained for the first 3 days.
I'm sure you had the time of your life.
I did. It was a ball, actually. We just sat in the bar and just told stories. It was great. But I was a young man, and I was rooming with a great David Brandt.
Well, there you go. No, that's brilliant. Look at that.
Great ball.
That's brilliant. That's got a nice round of applause from all the supporters and the team members around us.
And the first thing David did in the morning was he lit up his pipe, and the last thing he did at night was he tapped the pipe empty. It was wonderful. It really was, for a young man like myself to be able to spend so much time with, in my opinion, a lot of people's, the greatest player ever. Ball, well done, Natalie. You've opened the head up. Missed chance by Val to go behind with that one. It would have been worthwhile arriving at the ball. Now that's interesting because the rules are... Oh, it's Val in the reaction. Yeah, exactly. She knew that was short and it shouldn't have been. The rules are that you don't come up until after you've ball. But if you ask permission and the marker agrees, you can come up. Now the only issue I have about this is that you shouldn't be coming up and asking your performance coordinator what to do. Val's taking on some fluids, but you know, I just can't agree with this. I just can't. I'm sorry. And I know it's in the rules, but if you are selected to play for your country in singles, you are meant to be the best singles player available. You shouldn't be asking anyone else for advice. Anyway, I have the ruling with regards to the managers and everything else, and I've had a copy of it that was... But I must admit, nearly everybody that I've spoken to on the other side of the officials have agreed that it is not a good idea to be coaching from the side. Here we go. Close. Oh, she's got it. Good ball. Good ball. Just got a snip of it, just a nibble, but that was enough. And it's a pity we had to see gold medal playoff, David. You know, just let the players battle against each other, no interference from anyone.
I agree.
You know, that's the whole idea. It's gladiatorial out there. It's one against one. You might be just hearing some noise just around us. There's just a few problems, a wind catching a couple of things. Now Val, will you get... It's struggling those straight balls, but she's pushing the ball in for second. That's handy. Well, the locals in having a watch of a game that she may or may not know an awful lot about. But irrespective, it's lovely to see India doing so well in these Commonwealth games. Wonderful performances, I have to say. And I do believe that if the game progresses here, that there'll be a force to be reckoned with within the next few years. Well, this looks like it's going to run into a ditch. Very much a wee chance. Ping the ball out, come off of the jack. She has a ball over in the corner, as you can see in your bottom right hand picture. There you go. Take the ball out for two, come off the edge for the jack for two, ditch it for a possible three.
And when you're trailing by one, come.
This has got a long way to get back. It just holds off in that forehand. It's going to lose a single.
Yes, just the one on red. So that confirms that it's another point on the board for New Zealand and Val Smith.
She was a long way away out of the hand, and she knew that. Yes, there it goes, halfway. It just wasn't going to break back. Not on these greens.
7-5 to England.
So a little change with Val. She's brought the mat up a little bit. Just a slight adjustment. That might well affect the running of the ball because different on the rink offer different lines. That's a good starter. These greens have taken an absolute hammering over the last 2 to 3 weeks. They've suffered a little bit, I have to say, which is artificial. Just as well that really they haven't been on grass surfaces. If they'd have been laid down a while ago. The trouble is it takes a long time for grass to take, and they have to be very high maintenance, they really are. And also, you know, it's only a couple of months ago these things were 2 and 3 feet. If they had been grass, they'd have been in a deep trouble. Literally. Official surfaces have actually worked quite well. I think they're probably very good for the future. Probably won't happen in Glasgow, but certainly good in this weather at 35 degrees. I mean, if it had been grass, they'd have been so quick.
It's amazing how much wear you can see when you look closely, even on the artificial surface. As you say, it's hard to imagine how grass would have survived.
Well, it does make a difference in terms of who's lying about what shot she plays here. The shots against her, she'll play the forehand, absolutely. The percentages are on the forehand to try and rest off the ball. The difficulty, if it just hangs off, and she touches it, she could give the shot away. Just doesn't know who's lying, that's the trouble.
This is the final end, of course, of the first set.
Val needing 2. She's with this little tap on it. She's got it. Oh, that's a cracking ball. That is an absolute gem. Natalie Melmore will certainly ask to come up and have a look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a beezer of a ball. Played it with perfect weight. That's why it dropped back. Middle the jack. Back to the other one. And she lies 2.
That's one of the best shots she's played in this set, isn't it? Just when she needed it, she got it right.
Exactly. It's just the timing of it. That's all. The timing was brilliant. So, well, this is a bit of a problem for her because she's got no back position. Oh, a wee smile. If she's going to play this, she'll want to try and this her third delivery, and if she misses it, she wants to try and get second, and if she misses that, she wants to get back position. So 3 different options available in the backhand. The percentages for success in the backhand are quite high. There's the second ball. Well played. That was quite deliberate.
Yep.
She played with sufficient weight to make sure she was getting there. But that was a very, very good delivery. It really was. The shot was obvious, but she executed it extremely well. And Val's going to have to play something similar because if she hits her shot ball, the jack will spring back for 2, and if she ball out and stays, she'll lie for 2. I don't know. I think there was anything about advice in just had a quick word there. Don't quite know what that was about because there's only one shot available. It's on the backhand.
Same thing again.
You're talking about the world outdoor champion here. Oh dear. Always has an effect on the player who has to wait, but it's happened to both of them now, one each.
I suppose the one thing for the opponent is it at least gives you the satisfaction knowing you've caused your opponent problems which they can't solve by themselves, supposedly. So,
for that difficult, David.
No. So I'm just looking for.
No, there's not. There's no excuse. Sorry.
Okay.
She's down on the area here. She wants to hold pass for the ball. She wants to spring the ball. Oh, she needed an edge. So close. It was the right shot to play, but so close.
One blue.
Oh.
6-7, end of the first.
She was so close on the flying leap. Oh, that's a great reaction, isn't it?
No, she just needed an edge. It's a typical Val Smith. It really is.
So she has just missed out. She pulled the 1 point back.
Once again, Natalie Melmore didn't require her last ball.
And she's been edged out. 7. Melmore's taken that first.
Hi, today we're going to make sausage for a delicious meal for the whole family. Sausages, cheese, eggs, capsicum, out just can take a while. Now, what do you want some help with? This is only going to be this.
.com Open moves to San Martin, California. Last year, Troy Madison held off a pair of young guns in Ricky Fowler and Jamie Lovemark to claim his second PGA Tour victory.
Prize.com Open, Friday, Sky Sport 1.
Every 4 years, so that's one to look forward to, but Val Smith is a champion there.
Doesn't count any chickens because obviously there's still a long way to go, and such a fighter, such an experienced player. This could go either way still.
Good ball. That brings the back ball right into play. That's a good ball there too. That's in the receiving position. Close again. She needs a jack this time. Oh, this is an interesting head. Line the shot with 3 seconds against her. Just dropped under, but there's another ball to come, and with 3 seconds now. Val Smith needs another ball in. Oh, disappointment, but the head is built. That's the important bit. And the first end of the second set is very, very important to set the tone for the rest of the set. Gently, gently, you've got two round there. You need one in close. Well, you need one close. That's good. That's a good ball. Well played. That's a good ball. It's also another shot. That was very important. Dropping in like that means that if her own ball goes out, she's still scoring. There's a trail shot on, but it's a slightly different on the trail shot. Has to get it absolutely right. Closer this time, much closer this time. She's got it.
Oh, that's a great start. Reaction.
She made a correction, beautiful correction on the line. She's got two out of it.
Two red, first end.
Beauty, absolute beauty for the trail.
Oh, she's pleased with that.
2 down to 2 up.
Well done, Natalie. She's so cool, isn't she? This is such a big day for her, such a big match. And England already 2-0 up. First end, second.
Well, we've had a lot of young players here, including on the England team as well, but also in other teams in the men's side as well. Sam Tulchard playing off for a bronze medal against Northern Ireland's Gary Kelly. So the match well up the green again by Val Smith.
Well, she must have a worry here because she's lost the first set and her young opponent is showing no sign really of nerves on the big occasion. She's not freezing.
No, I'm really very impressed by the way she's kept her cool. And you know, I honestly don't give an awful lot in terms of age. I give more in terms of experience, adapt to pressure. And at this moment in time, I haven't seen anything in Natalie's play at any stage, which indicates to me that she's suffering. She's been steady. But even prior to that, good timing to drop one short. Thank you very much, Natalie. Appreciate that.
She heard you.
Yeah.
I'll show him.
Commentator's nightmare, really is. But before coming out here, she won the national singles. That to me was enough to indicate that she was ready. Because winning the national singles in England is not easy. Believe me, it's not easy. She won that without any coaching and any advice, so she can win this the same way.
So she should.
Needs to drop underneath. She's in the area with this. Oh, found the gap. Another one, and it doesn't do any harm to leave holes and gaps. Holes to singles players. Not enough balls up there onto all the time. You leave holes and gaps, you can try like that. Well, you don't want to move the jack, move onto the forehand, use that last ball as a target. Bottom left of your picture, go for that. Hit your own the way in, that's grand. Looks like it might be just struggling to get back. It's just on the outside. Didn't have the pace. That was probably more of a problem than anything else. That should have been behind the jack to have value. Her singles plays about. She knew she was out wide, and well, it kicked wide, Val, yes, but it's very heavy out there, and you get caught out with it. But every singles bowler knows that each ball has to have some sort of a value in the head, even as 3 yards away. The line looks better with this one. Looks much inside the short ball. Oh, she caught the wrong side of it. And that's costly. Very costly. Two out. Look at the third.
Two played.
Interesting. I think Val just said two.
Yeah, it's confirmed. It is two.
Must have been in easily because she didn't even give it a good look. So it must have been very clearly just a two.
So second end gone now in this second set, and England 7-6 in the first. It's now 2-2 in the second. And strangely enough, that was the same score at the end of the second end in the first set. It was 2-2. And if it has the same outcome at the end of the set, Natalie will be delighted.
An absolutely delightful evening in Delhi. I say evening, it's late afternoon, but it's down.
And we do have the floodlights on again.
Yes, indeed. They come on very early, the floodlights. They're on sensors of some sort, but I think that's mainly because they want to make sure players move from daylight into the floodlit matches as gently as possible. It's very accommodating for that, it really is. It's very, very good. Lights are excellent. Lovely, easy delivery and action of Val Smith. Much to go wrong there. Have you made the correction? Well, second ball. Either way, this has been a great success for both these players. They're guaranteed a minimum silver medal, and for New Zealand that is a godsend as well, because they're going back for something. England have already picked up medals in other disciplines.
And that was good.
Just dropping
that
under.
That one's 5 inches. That one's about 7. 2 out.
Well, she's eased the ball away with that one, but we're not sure if it's short or not. Well, the marker's indicated it's 1-1 to England as the wind kicks up a bit. It's a strong gust that's coming across. Yep, there's the flags, and well, that is pretty strong, and that will affect the balls, there's no doubt about that. Not too much on a heavy green, it's only on the really quick green problem. Well, that's kicked out a little bit, it'll go deep. Now Val, how courageous are you as the England supporters look on? More England supporters outside in the sunshine. Back position all against Val Smith. There's a shot in the forehand if she wants it, and that is to punch the ball out clean to make 2, possibly 3, depending if she stays. She's got a good front protector, keeps her off the jack. Worth playing this, I would say, on the forehand with a bit of weight. I can't see her getting to the jack if she plays it with very controlled weight. Certainly wants to be coming down at it. Now, will it get back in time? She's using controlled weight. Needs to hold though, it needs to hold. Needs to hold, she's got it. Has she held on? Oh, so unlucky.
Great effort.
So unlucky. Almost a perfect execution for a very difficult shot.
So the lollipop. The one on red means it's another point for England. And England now 3-2 in front after 3 ends of this second set. Bit of good fortune from Natalie Melmore there. But she'll happily take that. And she's edging ever closer. Remember taking the first set 7-5. She's 3-2 up now. If she just keeps going like this, there's that she could well take the gold medal. But still some way to go. A lot can happen in these next few ends. Well, 6 in all. Start now the 4th end in this second set. That's a decent. Smith gets a nice round of applause. Even Natalie's mum gives that one a clap. And that's pretty good. Natalie Melmore responding well after a good opener from Val Smith of New Zealand. And the very experienced Val Smith is really in a match. She knows how good this young girl is from Newton Abbot in Devon, and she's having to produce her best to stay with her.
Just dropping through.
Still plenty of the New Zealand entourage up here around us, supporting, encouraging, applauding. But to be Natalie too when she produces good shots, so it's a match played in good spirit, and this is fascinating stuff. This is a good final.
It's definitely been good stuff, there's no doubt about that. As you would expect, 2 players.
Well, you hope so, and there haven't been too many loose shots. It's been interesting. It's not been too slow. There's been the odd moment that you haven't know with the coaching, but
yeah, well, that's
comes with the territory.
Exactly, that's been throughout the Commonwealth Games. Not an issue for the players. Indeed, the team management. You know, the rules there allows them to do it, and they do it. That's fine, no problem. But just not. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Here we go. Val just dropping short. A chance to draw the jack back for 3. Can't get it right with every ball. Well, I don't know if that's dropped out or not. It's hard to tell. Marker to give us some advice. Tell you what, that's very, very close to 3 shots. You may see sometimes the ring's moving slightly. Our overhead cameras are on the jibs, of course, and if the wind's blowing at all, it's really hard to hold those still. Very, very difficult. There you go with the jib going across. Try to be as unobtrusive as possible, but not always easy. Well, if Val's playing the backhand, she's driving at this. Yep, she's driving on the backhand. She's a good driver. It's all on the result now. Does she get the front split or the 2 balls? Oh, that's unlucky. That's very unlucky. I'm just a little bit surprised she played the drive, but yeah, and took out her close way through as well. So it's a little bit unlucky. Specs, you know, it's. I'm not sure about it. Personal choice. Oh, it was on. Spare shot chance here. Missed that one.
It's not too bad.
Well, exactly. It's straightened right up. It looked to me as if it was drifting away.
Well wide, yeah.
But for some reason, it just seemed to. I'm just having another look at this because there it goes. Well, I don't know how that actually managed to stay in. It could be another shot. It is. Goodness me. Picked up the spare one on the inside.
There's a beautiful view of downtown Delhi in the distance and the sun setting slowly over the trees. And 6-2 now. It's a comfortable lead for England. But it is a lovely afternoon to be watching world-class bowls, lawn bowls, and this women's final here in the Commonwealth Games is going very much. 21-year-old Natalie Melmore from Newton Abbot and Devon up against the very experienced and very talented and popular player Val Smith, New Zealand, who's been around a while, very experienced, very successful. Was sitting with us in our commentary position the other night, delightful lady, good friend of David's, and she's having to go some to stay with this youngster.
Yeah,
well, I'm sure she'd be the first to acknowledge that the youngster is not there by fluke.
Good company, Val. She's very much into sport of all types, and thank you for mentioning, David, that she was a very good. You know. Good stuff. Absolute beauty. First ball. It's an early run at the moment at 6-2. Val put her head down on that one. She didn't like it. I don't think she's that far away, to be honest. I really don't. She didn't seem to like it. I think that's pretty good. It was just a reaction she had after delivery, and that was all, but it ended up a very good ball. She's close again. She's close again.
No, she is.
Oh, that is
trying to get closer almost.
Oh, that's just
So
good
good.
stuff.
She is finding a real quality form out there.
She is. This is probably the best game I've seen her play. And having said that, she put out in the previous round Siti Zalina Ahmad from Malaysia, who was the twice gold champion in the Games. So she has been in a very good form just at the right time. That's not going to get back.
Now, and the Malaysian girl currently playing for the bronze medal. Just Natalie did well to beat her, and she's doing very well here to have this lead that she's got at the moment over Val Smith, and the dream is closer.
Very much there. Now she wants to stay wide. The ideal solution here would be just to stay on the green. She just needs to stay on the green as a back ball. Doesn't want to lose it. That's very useful, especially against a player like Val Smith, who is a good driver. Well, she's looking at the plant. Now that's the plant isn't really taking the ball that's at the top of your screen, slightly short. I hit the other one. Now if it's missing the jack, you drive the two balls out of the head and lie two. But if it's getting a slight edge, it's still okay. If it's getting any more than quarter jack, then the jack will go back and she'll be in trouble. So it's all down to millimeters, really, about how sitting. The trouble is, to get it, she has to take a bit of a risk. Gets her own ball, and she's 3 down, and this set will be... This is tough. Yeah, she's pulled it. There you go.
Oh, she's well wide
Yeah,
now.
it's just like a golfer when you play that. You know within a metre or two. Absolutely. Cross. Just like a massive hook. Bingo. Right away. She knew. I think what she was worried about there, David, was she didn't want to be wide.
No.
If she was wide, she was taking her own ball out, and that forced her to go inside.
Yeah, even when you're as experienced and successful as she is, it's still a tough shot, that one.
That was tough. It was the right shot to play. It was a really, really tough shot for her. You know, it's...
This could be another good end for England and Natalie.
Now this looks under.
Oh, she doesn't want to do anything too silly here, does she? And she hasn't.
She's happy enough not.
She's getting a smile from the England entourage, the support.
2 red, 8-2.
2 more for red.
Amy Monkhouse there, just on the right hand side, picked up a bronze. England support will go absolutely nuts if this girl continues like this. She only has to win the next 2 ends, and that's going to be enough.
And there's confirmation of the score. 7-6 the first set, and she leads the second 8-2. And there's only 3 sets to go. 4 sets to go.
4 ends to go.
Yeah, 4 ends to go. Let's get my maths and my terminology right.
We do long hours here, folks.
We do.
We've only got
You get the point.
match to go, of course, in men's singles. Looking forward to that, where Robert Wheel from Wales takes on the Aussie Leif Selby. And that's going to be very interesting. Val Smith again hasn't been totally successful for her, I have to say. She's brought the mat up 2 or 3 times and lost shots. I think
She must be wondering what to do to upset Natalie, because Natalie's been very consistent, hasn't she?
She has. I think I might have tested Natalie, to be truthful with you, on a full length jack.
Yeah.
I can go for the tee. But a 21-year-old student, the law student, who's taken a year off to prepare. Goodness me, what a good decision that is turning out to be.
Well, to get to this match alone is an achievement, but to possibly win gold is almost more than she can have thought possible.
Well, absolutely. We covered her in the first match, and she played well enough. It didn't look anywhere near as impressive as what she has in this game. You know, the series of matches in the Commonwealth Games have given her so much confidence.
Well, she's just grown daily in confidence, hasn't she, in stature?
Well, she needs 2 or 3 shots this end to give herself some sort of a chance. first drive and 4 feet away.
She looked awkward on the delivery though, didn't she? She lost the balance.
Yes, it didn't look comfortable.
No. Oh dear, a little stumble. Can she recover?
Oh, no, that didn't look right. No way.
No, she didn't even bother looking.
Balance and everything was off. In.
So a little window of opportunity for Val.
It's a useful ball. So, Natalie, go again on the backhand.
Shot cross
Or
half a
drawn
ball in
forehand.
front.
Looks that's a very appetizing target for a bowler.
It is.
It really is.
Got a decent width target.
Now this should kick out a little bit. There it is. It's kicked out and she's got the jack. She's going to run with the jack as well. Oh, they can see the signs now. It's almost there.
Panic there. She made the mistake on the previous shot. This time though, learned from it, and what a good tactical shot she's played.
Absolutely. Played it with less weight, which was the way to do it because she didn't look comfortable. And if she gets one shot here, or two shots, then she's only one shot away from winning this.
She's playing with so much maturity, isn't she? Really experienced player.
Well, yes, you know, it's one of those games, David, where you do the simple things right.
Yeah.
You know, play what's obvious, play what you can see. Don't worry about the tactics just too much, execute the good stuff. And this looks under. Oh, this looks under Val. Yes. Away, and she knows how important that is. She really does know how important that is. Lovely smile after she played that. I'll tell you what, you're going to smiles and an end or two of this keeps going. She won't stop smiling for days. Oh, I can't believe that actually one of the volunteers walked right across the end of the rink just as she was about to deliver. So reset herself and try and get the double. Just a pace now, she's and I think she has. It looks good. Looks like a double to me. Oh yes, they're well in.
It is.
Well in.
Got to be.
I'm writing it down on my scorecard. Is
And the official confirmation.
Well, one more shot and they'll be shaking hands and the gold medal goes back to Devon.
Well, this is just extraordinary stuff, isn't it? And this young lady from Newton Abbot is just on the threshold. What must have been a dream when she set off on her career, her playing career in this terrific sport. And here she is just about, maybe, to seal victory in the Commonwealth and win the gold medal. And against one of the world's great players.
Yes, well, once again, Val's brought the mat up, but it hasn't been successful. She hasn't scored with the mat up at any stage, so I think Val, in her mind, will know that this is just, so difficult now. She has to score at least 2 shots.
5 ends now. She is just on the brink, and she knows it.
Well, sometimes it's harder to take, David, if you miss out by one shot or a lucky ball or something like that. But second set, 10-2 with 3 ends to go, you're sort of got yourself ready almost to lose the match. She won't get wrong, but mentally she'll be thinking to herself, tough now.
Oh, look at that.
And the confidence is poor.
And quite rightly so. She has every reason to be satisfied with her afternoon's work so far.
Well, her 10 days work.
Her 10 days, but
she was
this
second.
Important day.
Second in the section, Natalie Melmore, but came through. This is her 3rd match of the day. Well, that's useful.
Consistent. Natalie Melmore is just edging ever closer to Commonwealth gold.
There's the back ball. She's just trying to cover those two a little bit far, but she's left Val with the harder shot of trying to trail the rink is difficult to say the least.
Just stay calm and construct the head properly and do the right things, prepare for what might happen.
Val has tightened the line this time. She's going for the jack or the ball. This is the right sort of shot to play. Is she going to get the gap?
Oh, gosh. She's an inch away. All the Kiwis.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. I think they thought they were in there.
Exactly. 10 things happen. They don't happen to you when you're 10-2 up. So. There it's. She knows, Natalie Melmore knows that she's one from lifting the gold medal. Scores with this, it's impossible for Val Smith to get enough shots on the last two ends. You may hear cheers across because there's other matches going on. Australia and Malaysia are fighting out the bronze. And it's very close at the moment in that match in the second set. So Val Smith, one ball to stay in this final. Natalie Melmore has to wait for one ball to lift the gold medal. What a time for the 21-year-old. Lovely action of Val Smith. Is she giving it a chance? It's coming back now. Here it comes. But where is it? It's going to England. It's all over. It's one shot. And she's doing the right thing. Congratulations. Well done to Natalie. Commiserating with her opponent. Now she can burst into tears.
Oh, isn't that brilliant? Look, she can't believe it. What a fantastic performance. Look at that.
Oh, the congratulations will start now. The party will start shortly.
Delightful moment. What a moment. Oh, she's terrific.
What a time to be 21. They're very conscious of the fact that there's another match going on. So they're being a little bit careful about it. They can't go absolutely nuts because of the other games.
Confirmation, 7-6, 11-2. Natalie Melmore has beaten Val Smith. She's taken this women's singles event in Delhi. And what a day for her. I think she's going to see friends and family up that far end.
Yes, there's the family. There we go.
All around. Why not? Enjoy the moment, girls. Oh, it's absolutely delightful.
8 months ago I was having blurred vision. My doctor sent me to a specialist. I was dropping things, shaking. My wife, she didn't take things too well. Because my family and I are with Sovereign and Best Doctors, it meant some of the world's leading specialists. Hey guys! Hi! Working with my doctors, they were able to confirm the best possible treatment.
It could give you a second chance at life. Best Doctors, New Zealand first from Sovereign. Contact Sovereign today or contact your...
So take my... and I'll lead you back onto the other side. Get yourself into a better place and lift your life. Hold your head up high and don't rely on anyone else. Make it easier on yourself. Don't
Apex, I'm gonna need the car a little longer.
Meanwhile, Val is offering her thoughts to New Zealand TV, I think.
Yeah, it's good to see that with Val as well, because she'll be very pragmatic about it. You know, it happens. It's one of those things. And on the day, more consistent. Really.
She was.
No more than that. She played the better bowls on the day, and it's one of those things. It happens.
Just look at the scoreline to confirm that she was just the best player.
But the England singles player to take out the gold medal with all the experience around her as well. Absolutely fantastic. Here comes Val Smith putting up. Stern opposition from the Kiwis. You see her drawing bowl after bowl in the sunshine in Delhi. But there's the consistent play. That's what I thought she did really well. She was playing as well, putting the pressure on. 3 bowls, and that's gold medals. Val did everything, even on the drive shots, to try and do everything she could. A little control shot just showing that Natalie can play those as well. Once again, Val still trying so hard to make the lots of good balls, lots of good support. Forward, there you go, and that was it. Well, Val Smith very disappointed in the end. She was line shots, but Natalie, no, that's a great ball there. That was on the second set. That was a fantastic ball. And there's the last ball, trying to trail the jack for 4, but it goes to the England ball, and she knew as soon as it hit the jack that it was all over. Full hug from Gail Hunter, the youth or sorry, not Gail Hunter, it's one of her players actually. Sorry about that, folks, but it was just so many people coming over from the England team to congratulate Natalie Melmore, and why not? What a party she's going to have tonight, and she will enjoy the closing ceremony more than most people with the gold medal round her neck. But it's Natalie Melmore from Devon, gold medal for England here in Delhi. What a performance.
ASX shop. Great Commonwealth Games competition from Mitsubishi. Valerie's had her final shot at the games. So one of these new Mitsubishi ASXs has been won, but you're still with the chance to win the other ASX. All you have to do is find the hidden key. Just visit asxshoptowin.co.nz, and good luck.
Today at the Comm Games. Don't miss the spectacle of the closing ceremony on Sky Sport 4. Sky Sport 5 features the blockbuster Silver Ferns Australia. It's rhythmic apparatus finals on Sky Sport 6. Who will spin gold in the table tennis finals on Sky? And it's Black Sticks England for bronze and India Australia for gold on Sky Sport 8. Across 5 dedicated Sky Sport channels and free-to-air on Prime. The Delhi Commonwealth Games. Today, check guides for times.
Sky on Demand. Movies at the press of a button this month. Alice in Wonderland. Johnny Depp.
You're back.
See, in the Tim Burton masterpiece. Robin Hood.
For the crimes of incitement to cause unrest, I declare him to be an outlaw!
The Book of Eli.
Our only hope is in my hands.
One book could save humanity. Date night. This is a night they'll never forget. Law-abiding citizen.
Release me or I kill everyone.
A man with nothing to lose. The bounty hunter. How hard can it be to arrest your ex-wife? Forget downloading time. These premieres and many more are ready with Sky on Demand this month.
Oh my God, what an ambitious thing to do. To be an artist forever and always. Again and again.
We always want to make records that stand out. It's as good as it gets.
Let us show you what we're made of this month on the Arts Channel.
This is thing that happens in dreams, not in real life.
She's famous, he's not. Julia Roberts and Hugh Grant.
You are Orson Holmes' favourite actress.
The Friday, 8:30 Friday, Notting Hill on 5.
Well, Lockie Turner there picked it up. Messam off quickly. New Zealand looking to up the ante now. Now they've got Arnold coming back on the cut. DJ Forbes offloads it right to Muller. New Zealand has the first try of the final. Kurt Baker adds the extras. New Zealand have the all-important first try. Well, they've got a big advantage here. Lockie Turner gets the ball away. New Zealand having to defend their line. Baker making the tackle. It's there though for Australia. Out it goes to Stannard. Chops back the other way. Opportunity and Turner's into the corner. And New Zealand having to defend. They have a look to the short side. It was a brief moment where they had 2-on-1. Now there's
once again, and indeed sadly for the last time, to Delhi, because we've now reached the conclusion of this Lawn Bowls tournament, and it is of course the one we've the gold medal match in the men's singles. It's Australia against Wales. Leif Selby wheel. That's the match for you tonight. It's a lovely day, lovely evening to be watching bowls here in Delhi. Temperature's perfect, the conditions are good, the breeze has dropped away, lights are on. There's a good crowd in here to watch what we hope will be a really good match. We had a brilliant ladies final, women's event earlier, and now the men, and what a lovely shot that is of the night sky and the moon. Look at that, it's fabulous. 32 degrees, humidity is a little higher maybe than right for comfort, but it's not bad, and just a gentle wind speed. It's really a perfect setting. The floodlights are on, the players are out, and this promises to be some match. So here we go, the men's singles final in Games in Delhi, such a huge success. It's Australia taking on Wales, Leif Selby against Rob Wheel. Final looks like this for the two players. It was Australia coming out on top against that was against Gary Kelly, of course, and Wales coming out on top against England. That was earlier today. So they've both been in action twice today, once today. It'll make twice this evening. They're in for an exhausting evening, I'm sure, because it's asking a lot of these players to do it. And there's Leif Selby, who's wasn't totally convincing in his victory today against Gary Kelly, but David Bobe in my name, I've got David Corkill, who knows all these players so well. David, we've enjoyed this whole event. Has been so good, and I know you're looking forward to it. What did you make of Leif Selby's?
Well,
Well, he was solid at times, and he missed a lot of drive shots. I think the drive and the fact that he drive shots was a bit of a worry for him. Having said that, I don't think we've seen the best of Leif Selby, because he's a much better player than what we've seen, and yet here he is in the final. Oh, it's amazing. Robert Wheel, well, he's a different animal altogether. He really is. We've been around so long. He's been the world professional champion in 2000. He's won medals in Victoria, Kuala Lumpur, Manchester, Melbourne. He's had bronze and silver in the singles. He's done absolutely everything he needs to do at this level except win the gold. And he only just lost that against Kelvin Kirkhow in Melbourne 4 years ago. Marker Andy Ewings, he's one of our professional World Bowls Tour markers, and very good he is too. Good to see someone like Andy's taking charge of this. And there's the Australian support. If I had time, I would go through all of the names because I know them, but you feel like you know them. I've watched them and commentated on them for the last week and a half. That's all, but there you go.
Local fans as well, that's good to see. They're along to see this interesting finale to the whole lawn bowls event. And as you've been saying throughout the tournament, we're hoping that bowls will become a major sport in India. It excels in various other sports, but bowls, sadly, at the moment, not amongst them. But there are big plans to take this country up there along with the big nations around the world.
I have a feeling it probably like that with the Malaysians, and that's the horn just going off for the start of this match. So